So your parents got married in Switzerland and then came to the United States in 1924.
That is correct.
And where did they stay when they first arrived?
With some friends in the Belleville, Wisconsin area. Jake and Emma Urban. Yes.
And your older brother Lou was born in February of 1925. Was he born there or somewhere else?
He was born down at the George Blyler farm, north of, what's the name of that? Jordan Center.
And where was your dad working at that time?
For George Blyler.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And then you were born in 1927. Where were you born?
I was born in Rat Hollow. And
Where is that? What? Near what?
It's just south, about a quarter mile south of the Rat Hollow School on Rat Hollow Road.
And what county are we in?
Greene and the township of Adams,
Why was it called Rat Hollow?
because of all the rats all over. And we had, I tell people, we had rats the size of feeder pigs. Yes, it was just terrible. That's when we lived down on the 40 acres that Dad bought. We did not have any running water. We did not have a well. We had to go down to the spring where there was a 30-gallon barrel sunk into the ground, and that's where we got our spring water. All the water had to come out of that spring for the house. We did not have any water or any sewer or anything,
And no electricity.
and no electricity. We had two forms of light. One was a kitchen lamp, kerosene, and the other one was a lantern for the barn. That was it. We did not have running water and electricity till I was 14.
And tell us the names and order of your other siblings after you were born in 1927, and then who came after that?
Franny,
What was her full name?
Ursula Verena. She was born on March 20th, 1928. Hetty was born September 5th, 1930. And I remember that. That's as far back as I can remember.
And they were all born at home.
That is correct.
Did a midwife or somebody come in to help with the birth?
Yes. That's another interesting little story. When I was born, a young lady, 19 years old, came and helped mother when I was born, and her name was Lisa Lee Fisher. Now the Fisher was it Art, or what was the guy's name that worked for Otto and Company? There was a Fisher that worked for Washington Implement. Well, he was a brother to this gal. And I known about her, and Mother always spoke so well about her, about Leslie Fisher. And when I was about 70 years old, one time I went to look her up. I heard that she lived in Belleville. And I went and looked her up. And she was then nearly 90. And we had a very nice visit, and she had nothing but good to say about my mother. And remember Brother Lou, he was 2, and she remembered me, but we had not met in nearly 70 years. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I think it is.
So who are your other siblings after Hetty?
Martha was born January 3rd. Not sure of the year. Ruth was born 18th of April. And Brother Fritz was born May 13th, 1936.
And they were all born at home.
That is correct. We were all born at home. Yes. Yep.
And tell us about your neighbors in Rad Hollow who had a Civil War relative.
Oh, that was the Scott brothers. Yes. And the oldest one, Jack, he was disabled from birth, and he got a $5 or $15 a month pension the rest of his life because his father had served in the Civil War. Now these 2 or 3 brothers, they lived in that one little house, and one of them would work here and there and everywhere. He could do just about anything, and he was also an expert hunter and fisherman, and that's what they lived on. He would buy a box of 22 bullets, 50 bullets, for 17 cents. And he told my dad, I expect to get 50 pieces a game. No, I expect to get 48 pieces a game with that box, Jake, he says. And then his brother, Jonas, he was a painter by trade. He did painted houses inside and out. But it didn't take much money to keep those fellas going. Nobody had anything.